back there, that heating pad, the wire and so on, put it on the side of it.
There. Simple. Simple, simple.
Hide my feet.
Your feet are hidden. That's all, Dave. Turn it on.
Now you look like that. Your grandmother that was in the picture in my living room. You know the picture? Same thing.
Yeah, she looks just like Midnight.
Yeah.
That's an old picture, Ray. That picture is very special.
Yeah.
I don't know if you appreciate it.
That's why I got
What's
it.
he doing that for again? Hey, you're always putting me in the movies.
That's right, you're a movie star.
Oh, I'm a big star. Did you see that old lady on the TV, 25 years old?
Yeah, that one, the one from France there.
Right.
Well, last year you mentioned her, she's
Yeah.
another year older.
Yes.
Well, 124, 120.
120 years old. 120 years old.
Yeah.
So you have a few more years, Meme, till you catch up
That's
to her.
right.
You got a few more years.
Oh. Hey, that camera's flashing.
It is? It's charging.
That means the battery's charging because it's plugged in.
Oh, well,
See the little green light?
I don't know nothing about them things.
Yeah, you know, David was saying, every time I'm here, I talk to you about who was who and who was born where. But I get home and I forget. I forget to write it down. So we wanted to record it so that we will have it so we can list it later when you record things. How far away will
When
this
you
pick
get
up the
there?
voice? Has to be up
Yes,
close.
that's fine.
What's
No,
that?
It's a recorder.
I'll be down.
David's got all that fancy stuff.
That's it.
That's a little tape recorder.
See, he used to use this in school when the teachers used to talk.
I'll have the white one.
Ma, when the teachers used to talk, he used to record it and then go home and try to remember everything the teacher said.
Good idea. There's an awful lot. Well,
That's strings in it. What's this?
Very cool.
So I got a little shot glass here, Meme.
I know. I have shot glasses all the time.
So he's gonna tape record you.
And what I'm going to ask is, again, where were you born? What state? What?
I was born in Rhode Island.
You were born in Rhode Island?
I was born in Rhode Island.
But who came from New York? Who was it? Your mother from?
My mother was born in Cohoes, New
Oh,
York.
she was the one. You were born in Rhode Island, but
I
she.
was born in Rhode Island.
But
I can take you to the house and show you where I was born.
You were born in a house? You weren't born in a hospital?
Not in them days.
No?
Of course not. Those are horse and buggy days. Not automobile days.
So what did they do? Was your mother by herself or was your father with her when you were born? Was he right by her side when you were born?
I don't know nothing about what they did.
Was that up near Bridgham Street near St. Charles?
Yes, I lived on Bridgham Street up near Carpenter Street. You know what Carpenter Street is?
Oh yeah, I used to peddle papers there.
Huh?
I used to peddle papers on Carpenter Street.
Okay, you know what the mill was?
Yeah, I think that's before my time, but
No, the mill was there.
yeah,
Picture of the roses.
Well, I was born in a house right near there.
on Carpenter Street.
Grant.
What made your mother come here to Rhode Island? If she was born in Cohoes, New York, what made her come to Rhode Island?
Well, my mother came with her parents.
Yeah, well, what made their parents?
Well, they came down, they were mill workers.
Oh, mill workers. Huh?
Mills. Well, that's all they did was work in mills in those days. She worked in the mill. There was a big mill on Carpenter Street. My mother worked in there. Carpenter Street.
I remember Carpenter Street. I remember peddling papers, but I don't
Bridgham
remember the
Street
mill.
ran right into
Bridgham
Carpenter
Street, yeah, yeah. Because when I first went to LaSalle, LaSalle had the Bridgham Street School was at LaSalle Annex. The first year I went to LaSalle, it was an annex. They had so many students, they couldn't all fit into the main school, so we went to
Well,
the
Bridgham
annex.
was down the other end.
Right.
Meme.
Yeah, they were all mill workers. They come from Canada.
I shut this room.
Some of my
What
mother's
does that mean?
Some of my mother's
Recording?
brothers and sisters were born in Canada.
No, it's only recording if there's little red lights on there.
My mother had
Getting it?
6 brothers, Raven.
How do you get that light to go on? What was I?
You pull that down and then you lift this up.
Oh. So I didn't get all of that.
I did.
You did.
My mother had 6 brothers.
Your mother had 6 brothers.
What?
right.
What is Meme? What is your mother's name? What was her main? What's her first name? What's your mother's first name?
I don't know my mother's grandmother's.
No. Your mother's.
Her last name.
Your mother's first name.
Alphozine.
Alphozy is your mother's first name?
Yes.
How do you spell it? Is that
And
an
she had
A?
Alphozine. She had a sister Rosaline and another sister Josephine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How do you spell Alpha? Is that with an A? Alphozine?
Alphonsine.
And that's French.
That's right. Alphozine.
Alphozine. And what's her middle name? Do you know? What her middle name? Did she have
what
one?
her middle name was.
And her maiden name was.
Her
What?
her maiden name was, before she married, who are you talking about?
Your mother.
My mother. Before my mother got married, her name was DeGrange.
She was DeGrange. Okay.
Yeah,
And she married a LeMay.
And then she got married to
a LeMay.
LeMay.
Joseph LeMay.
And that's what her maiden name is,
Right.
LeMay. Yeah.
Right. So your mother had 2 sisters,
Beside herself.
and your father, his name was what?
Joseph.
His name was Joseph.
LeMay.
And did he have any brothers or sisters?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Who?
He had 3 brothers and he had 1 sister.
What were their names? Do you remember?
Her marriage name was LaFerrier.
His sister?
His sister,
Well, her first name was what?
Rosanna
Rosanna LaFaria?
LaFerrier.
And the brothers?
And the brothers, well, they were LeMays.
But their first names?
Well, one was Jeremiah, one was Arthur, and the other one, I know he died early, I'm not
Arthur
sure.
DeGrange. Who was the Arthur? Was Arthur DeGrange that we used to go out with?
Who?
Who did we used to go out with? Had a son named Arthur.
Ballard.
Oh, that was Ballard, not DeGrange. That was
Ballard.
That was Ballard. Okay.
That's my mother's sister.
That's your mother's
Ballard.
sister. Oh, she married.
And she married a Ballard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That one wasn't out.
I remember that. Yeah.
Can't repeat that.
Your mother's sister married a Ballard, huh? That was your mother's sister.
Yeah. The Ballard.
I remember Mr. Ballard, but I don't remember the mother. That was your mother's sister. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Josephine.
Josephine, huh? So they were all around when you were younger and first married. They were all still living.
Yeah. All my mother's. Oh, but my mother's oldest brother, I remember him coming down to see my grandmother. And they called him Uncle Tom. He looked like Uncle Tom. He had a beard. But he lived in Philadelphia or somewhere. He didn't live around here. He was the only one. But all the rest of the Barlett lives around. DeGrange, Eva Miller, Eva DeGrange, see?
Yeah.
Her name is DeGrange. She married
Well, Phil
Phil, his father was
DeGrange.
Arthur.
Arthur. Yeah, his father was Arthur. Yeah, I remember Phil DeGrange. Yeah.
So who was Josephine's parents? Alphonsine.
Yeah.
Who were her parents? Your grandparents. Your mother's parents were who?
I don't know about my mother. I don't know about my mother's parents.
You said she moved here with her family.
Yes.
Right. Did you ever know your
They lived in Canada at one time. You know,
Mhm.
they,
Do you know what part of Canada?
I don't know.
But she moved here with
They
her
lived in
parents.
Canada.
Mhm.
Then they came down. Then they settled in Arctic and Natick up there in West Warwick.
Mhm.
A lot of mill towns up there, all mill people. That's all they did for a living in those days. And my uncle Ed, the photographer, he was a photographer, and he took a lot of pictures. You know, a lot of people that lived in West Ward knew him because he was a photographer.
Yeah.
They took pictures.
But how far back would you say? Do you ever remember anybody talking about anybody coming over from Europe? So you go a long ways back in this country. In other words,
Yeah,
you don't.
I know.
Your family has been in the country a
I
long
don't
time.
know. They come from Canada.
But Canada, but
Yeah.
as opposed to Pa's family, his mother came from France, did she not? She was born.
Pa?
Pa's mother.
Yeah.
She was born
Well,
in France.
His grandparents would come from France. Pa's grandparents.
What about
Not
his immediate mother?
not his own parents.
No? Oh,
No.
no.
Not his own parents. His grandparents
His
did.
grandparents. Oh, okay.
Okay, your Grandpa George's Pepe, his full name was what? George what?
What did you just say?
Pepe.
Yes.
His first name is George.
Yes.
Do you know what his middle name was?
Yeah. Tell us for.
George T. Tell us for.
Telesphore. George Telesphore Fontaine. Huh?
George, well, the George T. But didn't he have Joseph in there somewhere on some of the certificates?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I always knew him as George T. Fontaine, who was a George Telephone. Now, I don't know that.
My husband was born in Canada.
He was born in Canada?
Yes.
What was the date of, when was he born? Do you know when's his birthday?
I don't know.
Do you remember when his birthday was? What
When I
month?
say I don't know. The only thing I do have a baptism certificate for the church where he was christened, but I don't know if that tells you where it was.
What month is his birthday in?
May
May what?
27th.
May 27th. And you don't remember the year that he was born?
He was born 10 years
Well,
before you.
if he was 10 years older than me.
So then
89.
1889. 1889?
He's 10 years older than me.
10 years older. 1889. Now his parents, you were just saying his parents, Pepe's parents,
Yes?
came over from France or no?
No. They came from Canada, but before that, her parents, his mother's parents came from France.
Mhm.
But that was before, my husband, yeah. His grandparents came from France. Pa was born in Canada. When he went in the army, he had to become
Yeah, I got the
naturalized
naturalization
citizen.
papers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He was born in Canada.
So what were Pepe's mother and father's names?
His mother's name was Laura, and his father's name was Joseph.
Was Joseph. Do you know what Lara's maiden name was?
Who?
Lara. Do you know what her maiden name was?
Yeah, Visha.
Visha?
Visha. V-I-G-E-N-T.
It's like
If you go to the
V-I-G-N-E-T
cemetery,
is in the
the
French
Indian-
they
Yeah.
it's
if you go
Jeanette.
to the Cranston Cemetery, you'll see a headstone there. Laura Visha and Joseph Fontaine. Right there in the cemetery. I can show it to you when you go by.
Which
So-
cemetery?
Yes,
Which one?
it is.
In St.
My
Mary's?
mother's father.
In St. Mary's Cemetery in Cranston?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's news, too. What, do you know that the number of your plot in St. Anne's Cemetery?
Offhand, I can't tell you. I don't know.
Oh.
I do have it written down.
Throw it.
I do have it written down, but I don't know. I can't tell you right out. What are you doing there with that thing? Are you recording what I'm saying?
I hope I am. I don't know. I won't know till later.
What are you doing
Well,
there?
so I can all write it down.
So,
I can write
can
everything
you
down.
write that down after you hear?
Yeah, I can replay it and stop it and go back.
It's a tape recorder.
It's a tape recorder. But anyhow,
What do you want to do that for?
because David wants to know everything and I gotta write everything down. That's the next generation.
How about Somebody wrote, who was it, asked you about something?
Yeah, matter of fact, I told Rita to,
Oh,
she had to write it down. She said, you
Well-
gave him the original thing? I said, yeah. What's that? I can't see that. That is?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You know what your lot number is in the cemetery? Lot number 463, section 41.
Could be. You
It
had
is, yeah. My wife has everything.
You know where it is? You just see it?
Section 41. We'd have to go looking for it. I know it's down. I know the area it's in.
Is that near Pepe? Where Pepe?
Yeah.
It's right here, section 41.
Who else? What's it? How many in that plot? Two.
6.
Who else is going in there?
Claire and Mike
Claire's going in there,
Yeah.
and Gerald.
and Gerald's going in there. At the time, Gerald's friend, Maya's brother, his wife died. And they were all excited. They didn't have a plot to put her in. She was going to be buried. But Gerald was concerned that before you die, you have your plot ready. So at the time, I said, all right, you can have one of my plots. So him and Claire each have a plot.
Well, it's only for 4 then.
6.
Those two.
Her and her
Pepe and
husband.
Meme.
Yeah.
Claire and...
Claire and Mike.
6.
Oh, she didn't
Gerald
say
and
Claire.
Gerald.
She said Claire and she didn't say that. I'm sorry. I don't assume
Okay.
things like you.
You don't have your cemetery plot all picked out?
No, I'm not going to die.
George and Betty had. They got the cemetery plot off. The Gate of Heaven Cemetery.
Day to heaven in East Providence.
Barrington.
Barrington.
We do also. We have ours.
Rita says she's going to the
Going to get
Exeter.
cremated
Exeter.
Veterans?
at the Veterans.
Yes.
So,
At the time, I probably would have had power in veterans, but there was no veteran cemetery then.
Meme, what war was Pepe in?
The First World War.
He was in the
And the
first...
Kaiser. You remember the Kaiser?
Well, I don't remember him personally, no, but...
The Kaiser was the boss then.
Did he enroll, or did he enlist, or did he get drafted?
Gee, I don't know. I think he enlisted.
You think how long was he in the war for?
Well, I don't know how long. He went overseas. Was in France. Was in Belgium. You got
Did you
pictures.
know him before then?
I knew of him.
Okay.
Because my Aunt Mary, Celia's mother and father, they lived in the same house with the Fontaine. Fontaines lived downstairs, and my Aunt Mary and Celia. You know Celia?
See what? See,
Her name was Cecilia.
oh, Cecilia. The hell's she going?
What's he gonna do?
She wants me to put the flowers
Oh,
next
for
to you so you
heaven's
can
sake.
smell them.
You made me think I'm gonna pass out.
Take the down.
Pass out? Pass out from what? The smell?
Right, turn them around.
Oh, I'm a bad.
Beautiful,
What are you doing all that for?
So you can smell them.
Huh?
So you can smell the flowers. So they're there. We'll move them if you don't want them there when we leave.
Wow. 5 minutes. Oh, I
Yeah,
can show them.
feet.
What they supposed to be shown, you can take them away.
David, she was saying one time, who was it? Was it Ma? Who were you talking about that had 9 brothers and sisters? Was that your mother?
My
Or
mother.
your mother? Dave. She had 9 in the family.
I have a lot of cousins, that's my side. Ballads and DeGrangers.
I missed it, but...
Asher named her brothers and sisters.
Gotta have a drink.
What do I do now?
It's done. You pull that down,
That
and
down.
then you open it up and turn it around.
I
Slide
look
it
like
down.
a real old. I didn't know you were coming over here to do this.
Slide it down. Yeah,
I
down.
didn't know I was
down.
going to be on television.
You see.
Boy. Yeah, I got a better house coat than that.
You look beautiful, Ma.
You pull,
What would you have for
pull
lunch
the left one
today?
down.
Soup,
Was it
Yeah, that
good?
down. And then the other one, and then right one
that's all
up.
I had.
That's all you had?
Yeah, I don't eat too much lately. Don't bring me no more eggplant for a while. Too much salt. I can't have no salt.
I don't put any salt in it.
She don't put any salt in the eggplant.
You don't put no salt?
No.
Eggplant takes a lot of salt.
I don't use salt in my food at all.
You don't?
No. No salt. He adds salt at the table. I do not cook with salt.
No?
No.
Hey, Meme. So, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
One brother and one sister.
You had one brother. What was his name? What was his name?
Albert.
Albert. So his name is Albert LeMay?
Albert LeMay.
Albert LeMay.
Albert LeMay. That's French.
And did he have any children?
No?
Or did he ever get married?
Oh yeah, he was married.
He was married to who? What was his wife's name?
I
Anna.
had no children.
What was his wife's name?
Anna.
Anna.
Anna Baker.
And they never had any children? Where did they live? Did they live in Rhode Island?
They lived in Providence, yeah. Yeah.
And your sister, what was her name?
My sister's name was Helen,
Helen.
and she married a Weeks. W-E-K-S. Weeks.
What was her husband's name?
Huh?
What was her husband's name?
Her husband's name was Frank.
Frank Weeks. Right.
Frank Weeks.
Frank Weeks used to smoke cigars all the time.
Frank Weeks.
Yeah. Used to candle eggs.
She had one
You know
daughter.
what candle eggs are?
She only had one daughter,
What was her daughter's name?
Estelle.
Estelle.
Right. Uncle Frank used to candle eggs, didn't he?
Well, he worked for a butter and egg company.
Oh, butter and egg.
Egg, butter, and all lard and all of that stuff.
Because in the old days, they used to have to look through eggs to see if there was any chickens in them or they were regular eggs. That's what you used to call candling
You had
eggs.
you had a candle.
At a candle, you could see through the egg.
Don't they do that again? Don't they do
No,
that?
I guess they screw up the chickens so they don't give birth. Don't give birth. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Well, you know, some eggs, new chicks are born, correct?
Right.
And some eggs are the eggs you eat. How can you tell the difference?
I thought it was just they pulled them out early once they're out from underneath the chicken.
How do you know what's in them?
What are you
Every-
talking about?
Maybe I don't want to talk about it.
He doesn't know the nature of chicken?
I guess not. I guess not. But anyway,
What are you saying, Ray?
Well, yeah, I mean, how can you tell whether it's a baby chick in the egg or a regular egg?
Oh, well, they candle them.
Yes, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
no. But when they're separating the chickens, they know the hens. They keep them separate.
If they keep everything separate.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's what he used to do.
I use with a
Frank Weeks.
right.
What's his name? Frank Weeks.
Yes. Some butter and eggs and lard and all of that stuff.
And her name was what? Estelle.
Sister,
No, Helen.
not for
Helen.
Helen. Worked for a company.
Helen.
Oh.
Aunt Helen. Now what? Now when did Aunt Helen die?
Oh, well, the poor soul. She's been dead now around 5 years, I guess.
5 years.
Yeah.
And when did her husband die? When did
Her
Frank?
husband died about 2 years before her. 2 years before her, he died, and then she died.
So they have one daughter. Where is she
Only
now?
One daughter. Right now, she lives in Hyannis, Massachusetts.
Do you know what her
I
name?
know everything, don't I?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
What's her name?
Hyannis, Mass.
What's her name now? Is she married?
Huh?
Is she married?
Of course.
Of course. What's her name? Her married name
My
now.
married name is
I
Iema.
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 Does she have any children?
She married Joseph Iema.
Joseph. Iema. Does she have any children? Does she have any
Oh,
children?
yes.
How many?
4. 3 girls and 1 boy.
Do they have any kids?
That's the only niece I have on my side of the family. She's the only, I only had one sister. She was my niece.
We have
One.
a pasta.
My mother.
Now on Pepe's side, what What children are there, what nephews and nieces are there on Pepe's side?
Lucian
Riviera.
LaRivia,
And who's that?
and Fontaines. Some more Fontaines. They live in Oaklawn.
Do you know the names?
4 boys. Is there 4 boys? You see 4 boys at the wake? Or 3?
Oh, well, you're talking, we're still talking about Harry and Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's Harry's boys.
Yeah,
It's Harry's boys.
yeah.
But you were just talking about Lucian. Lucian
She went from Lucian to
Lucian is a Fontaine,
Right.
from Fontaine. Lucian is the son of
who?
Aunt Estelle, which is Pa's sister. Then Pa had another brother,
Yeah.
Harry.
And did Harry have any kids too? Harry have any kids?
Yeah.
How many kids did he have?
4, I guess. I think 4.
2 boys, 2 girls.
I think so.
Where do they live, do you know?
They live in Oaklawn, but both of them just passed away not too long ago.
No, just Harry and Jeanette. Harry married Jeanette. Harry had 4 children. No, Harry had
So
6
there is some
children.
more Fontaines there in Cranston.
Yeah. Harry had 6 kids, 4 boys and 2 girls.
No. Oh, Uncle Harry?
Harry Jr. Harry Fontaine, Harry that just died. Had 4 boys,
He didn't have 6 kids.
4 boys and 2 girls.
I don't think so.
He had 4 boys at the wake.
Did he?
Or it's 3 boys, I'm sorry,
I think,
3
yeah.
boys. 3 boys. There's Harry, Paul, and Joseph.
boys.
3 boys and 2
And 2
girls.
girls.
Yeah, 5.
One girl's name is Claire. I always
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, I remember them.
So, Meme, Pepe was in the First World War.
Yes.
What branch? Was he in the Army?
He was in the Air Force.
The
right?
Air Force. Did he
In those
fly? What did
days-
he do?
In those days, the airplanes were made out of matchboxes. They weren't like they are today.
What did he
He
do in
was
the
a
Army?
cook.
He was the cook.
Oh,
in the Air
yeah.
Force. The cook.
He was a cook.
What were some of his dishes? Did he have some famous dishes and specialties when he came home?
I don't know.
When he came home and he used to cook for the
Well,
family.
he was always handy to cook something.
Yeah. Did he have any
He never had a
specialties?
bother with him. He'd get his own.
Did he have any special
I never had-
dishes?
He liked to eat what he cooked, you know.
So he came home from the Army,
Yes?
and then you met him when?
Well, I know who he was. His family, his parents and him, lived in the same house with an uncle and aunt of mine. And my aunt used to talk about him, how he was good to his mother and he was always doing stuff and, you know, talking about him. And when he come back from the war, I guess his mother saved the money for him. So he bought a Model T Ford.
Model T Ford.
Model T Ford. Brand new. And so he used to take his mother and father out for a ride on a Sunday.
And nobody had cars back
And
then.
then my aunt lived upstairs, so they said to her, come along, we'll give you a ride. So my aunt's very talkative, you know. She said, hey, George, why don't you get yourself a girl? Oh, no, they're gold diggers. All they want is your money and take you out. And I said, oh, I know a good girl, good for you. So that's how we got together, you know.
So your aunt fixed you up?
Yeah. We went to Rocky Point for our first trip.
Rocky Point was your first date?
That was a long way. isn't it?
We had the mother and father with us and my aunt. We all went to Rocky Point.
So you had chaperones.
Yeah.
Who else came with you?
What?
Who else went on the date? Who else came with you and George?
Oh, that was a Sunday afternoon, you know. That was all right. I don't know. I don't know how it all worked out.
So how long were you dating before
My
you got
father was
before you
very
got
strict.
married?
I never had any boyfriend. I
No?
was almost 24 years old. I don't have no boyfriend. My father would go, you can have no boyfriend.
He was strict,
My
huh?
father was strict. Where you going? You're not going anywhere. You stay right here. My father was strict.
So how long did you date Pepe before he asked you to marry
maybe
him?
a year and a half the most. The most.
After he met you, he wanted to get married, huh?
He didn't want to get married. Well, he didn't have a trade, you know. He was always working, always making money. He was just had a lot of ideas. He was always doing something. And he didn't have a steady job like they have today. We go to college and all that. None of that stuff in my days. You didn't go to college in my days. Never heard of such a thing.
He used to talk something about he used to drive jitney.
Oh, well, he was always doing something. Oh, yeah. There was a railroad strike. And not a railroad, a car street strike.
Yeah, streetcar.
So he took his Ford to get down to Webster Avenue, downtown, pick up about 5 passengers, and back and forth.
Collect the money and drive back and forth.
Oh, he's full of business, you know. He was always full of business.
So where did you live when you got married?
Where did I live when I got married? At first, I lived in Manville.
Did you have an apartment or?
No, well, apartment. I guess they call them, we used to call them tenements, but they don't call them tenements anymore. Apartments.
The apartments, huh?
You used to live in a tenement. That's what we used to call it, tenements.
And then you moved from there. Where did you go?
When I first got married, we lived in Manville. When I first got married, that's when he opened up it. Well, you never saw that little calendar I had, did you?
No.
She used to have a calendar while Aunt Claire had it framed from 1924 or something when Fontaine Brothers had their restaurant in Manville.
And he opened up a restaurant in Manville.
Pepe opened it up.
Him and his brother,
Harry.
opened Manville. And before they opened it up, you know, full of business, they had calendars made. Fontaine Brothers, Manville, 1934. And there was one of those calendars in with a lot of rubbish, not rubbish, but the Claire saw it, and she liked it, so she had it framed. So she has it.
She has one of those calendars. What kind of restaurant was it?
Oh, it's a little mill town. Manville it was, I don't know about now, was a mill town. And it was on the corner with a drugstore. Harry and him, they both had the restaurant together. But then a little jealousy comes in, you know.
What happened?
Well, they thought we were making more money than they were making, you know. But I knew how to live, she didn't. So they don't know why you have more than me, because...
So what happened then?
Then Harry had a good job. He was an automobile mechanic. He could go right back and got his job. But Pa then sold the restaurant. No, yeah, they sold the restaurant and they split the profits. And then we moved back and then we get a job.
What did he get a job doing after that?
Oh, after that he got a job working in a diner over in East Providence, near the East Providence Bridge there somewhere.
Wasn't it Dell's Paradise? Dell's Paradise.
Oh, he worked in restaurants. Yeah. And then, after a while, he opened up another little place.
He did?
Fish and chips.
What was the name of it?
I don't know.
No?
I never knew that. I never knew that. He opened up another place, too?
Oh, yeah. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
It was full of business. It was always full of business. Full of business.
Did he open that up by himself?
Yes.
And he was the cook?
And then we got married. And well, let's see. We moved back to Providence. And his father was around. His father could never do anything. His mother wouldn't let him do anything. he come from Canada and he knew all about farming. He knew all about farming, you know. And he loved that stuff, but his wife wouldn't let him do what he wanted.
So he tell his son George to do it.
Oh, no.
So he opened up the restaurant selling fish and chips in East Providence.
In Providence.
And then what? How long did he have that
Those
for?
days, potatoes, I don't know, something happened to potatoes.
Yeah, the potato famine in Ireland.
Oh, there was something the matter with potatoes. Well, that didn't do good either. But we survived, you know.
So what year did you get married in?
What year?
What year?
1923.
1923.
Yes. I would have been married about 72 years.
So did you have any kids when the Second World War began?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Had more.
Had more?
They were all born.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. Yeah.
Oh. Second World War. Second World War.
Did you know anybody in the Second World War?
Second World War.
But we were on Wendell Street and all the boys, the Bailey boys and
The what?
all of the guys who used to live in the tenement houses next to us, didn't they all go off to war? I forget their
When we
name.
lived on Wendell Street?
Yeah, during the Second World War.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them.
The boys on the corner there, what do you call them? Who lived in the corner of Wendell Street?
Gleason?
Gleason. Two boys went to war. And then the other ones down the line there, a couple of houses from the corner.
I don't remember them all.
They became dentists.
Yeah,
You know who? They never used to play in the playground.
yeah. Yeah, I forget their names.
Second house from the corner.
Yeah.
They were in the service.
Hanley.
Hanley.
So what were some of Pepe's other business ideas? Was it always just a restaurant, or was there other
Oh,
ideas?
everything was a restaurant. He liked restaurants.
I remember one time when he used to try to catch the crows. He said if you split the crow's tongue, they could
He had a
talk.
he had a fascination for crows because they used to go out and steal. Crows go out and steal, you know. And he had a fascination for those. And I remember, I don't know where we got them, but we had them on the porch.
Yeah, had them on the porch. Yeah, we had crows on the porch. Yeah, we had crows on the porch. He said he was going to split their tongue to make them talk like a minor bird.
Yeah,
I can hear him
but
now.
then we let them go.
Yeah.
We let them go somewhere and somewhere we let them go.
We had some guinea pigs too, didn't we? I believe we had some guinea pigs out there.
Well, when he was younger, when he lived with his parents, I guess it was during the war, after war, in the backyard he had coops, and he was breeding these guinea pigs, and he'd sell them to laboratories.
Laboratories.
He made money with that.
He always had something going.
Always had something going. Laboratory. So then when we got married, his father put ideas in his head, you know.
But having 6 kids slowed him down a little bit. He had to work, huh?
Well, he had to work. He had to work.
Well, I remember during the Second World War when he was working, he wasn't a cook, he worked in some kind of defense industry, which he hated terribly, but
Well,
that's where the money was.
Well, during the Depression, there was no, things were very slow. We had to get a job. My brother Albert worked in the lumber yard. He had a good job at a lumber yard. He gave Pa a little job there working at a lumber yard. And then he went and worked in a screw factory. He was always working. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Working in a screw factory. Always doing something. We always survived. say?
Now, the names of all of your children are what?
Your name of my children?
Yeah, all of your children. Who start with the oldest? Who's the oldest?
Rita,
Rita's the
Claire,
oldest.
George, Raymond, Doris, and Gerald.
Now, Rita, now, what are her kids' names?
Oh,
all of her
Lord.
children.
Put me through the third degree.
Yeah, because I forget. I forget
Well,
all my
let's see
cousins.
now. Pat, Patricia, Eddie, Edward, and then Susan, David, and Dennis, and Mark. 4 boys, 2 girls.
I have to think about that too sometimes, you know. There's so many of them, you have to think of which one comes which, you know.
Patricia was the oldest.
Now, where does Patricia live now?
Patricia lives up in New Hampshire somewhere.
I thought she was up in Massachusetts, Worcester. I don't know either.
Well, near the borderline.
Near
up
borderline,
there.
yeah.
Maybe it is Massachusetts, I don't know.
Is she married?
She was married, but she got a divorce a long time ago.
Does she have any kids?
Nope.
Then who's next? Who's that? Edward? Ed? Is Ed after her?
Huh?
After Patty?
Susan?
Susan?
Susan
No,
was
Edward.
married.
Edward's
She had
next,
4
right.
kids.
Susan has 4
Yeah,
kids.
she has 4 children. They're right there.
What are their names? Do you
Their
know?
names?
The
I don't
kids?
know their names. I
4
don't know
kids?
their names.
Where does she live now?
Lives in Florida.
She's in Florida. What's her married name now?
Marcelo.
Marcelo. I have a Marcella and a Marcelo.
Right.
You put an O or you put an A?
Hey. Right. Say, who's Marcelo? How's cool Marcelo is?
You're making me talk at my age, aren't you?
Yeah. And then Ed Hanrahan. Is he married? Young Ed.
Young Eddie?
Young Eddie.
No, he never got married.
What does he do now?
He works for the school department in the college.
Rhode Island
Rhode
College.
College.
Rhode Island College.
Something to do with machinery.
Yeah.
Something to do with machinery.
Then who else is there? Did you say Dennis?
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 He's an electrician.
Is he married?
Yes, he has 2 children.
What's his wife's name?
Yeah.
Lisa.
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 Who else? Did we missed? Well, we know Mark.
Hanrahan.
David.
David.
David Henry.
David's got a good job. He's an architect.
Mm-hmm.
His wife's a lawyer.
Okay, that's
He
Kendra,
has
right?
2 children. They live in Barrington.
Mm-hmm. And then
Mark isn't married.
who's after
About
Brady?
it.
Claire.
And then Aunt
We don't
Claire.
have too many grandchildren.
No.
What about Aunt Claire?
8.
Aunt Claire had 6 children. Only. She has 6 children.
What are their names?
They're all married.
Wait, no.
Yeah, they're all married.
What are their names?
Some of them 2 or 3 times.
The 6. What are the kids' names?
Huh?
The children. What are their names?
What's their names? Well, let's see. Michael?
We're going to give you a test after you get a high grade.
Yeah. Michael's the oldest. And then I think Catherine. And I think after that, Roberta. And then after Roberta, I think it was maybe
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. And after Elizabeth
Thomas.
was
Thomas.
after Elizabeth was let me see, Elizabeth, Tom. And after Tom was Marie.
Now, who out of that group, who has kids?
Aunt Claire don't have many grandchildren. She only has 2.
2 grandchildren?
That's all.
Who's their parents?
Tommy has 1. And Catherine has one. That's two. They're right there. There they are, right there.
These two.
That's that, right there.
Andrew and Alexandria.
Andrew and Alexandria, the 2 grandkids. Let's see, who's next?
George.
Uncle George?
George.
Uncle George. Uncle George has how many daughters?
5.
5 daughters.
Yeah. No boys.
He's married to Aunt
Carol, Beth, Janet, Mary,
Michelle.
and who?
Michelle.
Michelle.
Now, what is Aunt Betty's maiden name?
Who?
Aunt Betty.
Her name is Russell.
Russell. Betty Russell.
Her name was Russell.
One of Janet's boys' names is
She,
Russell.
she,
I'm sorry?
Russell, yeah.
she became a convert.
Right.
Yeah.
She from what to what?
Well, maybe Episcopal, I don't know.
To
She
Roman Catholic.
became a convert. So that Uncle Gerald's wife became a convert.
Now, Uncle George and Aunt Betty have how many grandkids?
A lot.
Oh,
George and Betty, their children have how many children? Carol has
Carol has 1.
Beth,
So none.
Mary.
Janet has 3. Mary has 2. And
Michelle.
Michelle has 2.
That's it.
Now, Carol married who?
Who?
Yeah, what's Carol's husband's name?
Who?
Carol.
Uncle George's daughter.
Uncle George's daughter, Carol.
She married a Marcello.
And his name is what? First name?
His first name is...
Tony.
What's his first
Tony?
name?
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony?
Anthony, Tony.
Tony, Andrew, Anthony.
And who's next?
Daddy.
Mary?
Beth. Oh, Beth.
Beth. Beth married who? Who did Beth marry?
Beth married...
She never
What
lived
about the
with
name? What's his last name anyhow?
Shay. Shay.
Shay. Jim Shay.
Jim Shay. S-A-G-A.
Shay.
Jim Shay.
Yeah. She married Jim Shay. No children.
No trouble. Who's next? Mary?
And there's Janet.
Janet.
Janet. Janet. What's Janet's husband's name? Janet Shappett, right?
Shappett. Ray Shappett.
Ray Shappett.
And they have 3 children.
Do you know their names? Do you know their names? The children's names?
I don't know their names too much.
Russell, Eric, and Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, the little girl.
And Mary. Who did Mary marry? Did we do her already?
Who?
Mary Fontaine.
Mary Fontaine.
She married Ruggieri.
What's his first name?
Mark.
Mark
Mark Ruggieri.
Ruggieri. They have two daughters.
2 daughters. I don't know.
Lauren and Elizabeth.
Lauren and Elizabeth.
Lauren and Elizabeth.
Lauren and Elizabeth.
And, Michelle?
Michelle.
They live in Cranston.
Michelle. What's Michelle's married name?
Michelle.
Sullivan.
Oh, Sullivan.
Sullivan. What's her husband's name?
Jim.
Jim. Another Jim. Another Jim. Now, she just had a baby, didn't she? Didn't she just have a baby?
She has 2.
2.
Yeah?
What do
One
they...
looks like him and one looks like her.
Yeah.
He's dark complected, you know. And she's light complected, so the 2 different, and then 2 boys.
2 boys.
Boys.
Yeah. One has the dark
Two
eyes, one
boys.
has the beautiful blue
You know,
eyes.
you like to make me talk, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's funny too how Mary has 2 girls and Michelle has 2 boys.
Yeah.
So who's after Uncle
Daddy.
George?
Daddy.
You?
Me?
Hmm.
Me?
So, your son Ray, he's married to, what's her name?
What's her name? Her name is Annette. Oh, what was her name?
What's her maiden name?
I forget her name.
Calavali.
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 Oh, wow, I knew that was a tough one.
How many grandkids do they have?
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
We have grandchildren.
oh, grandchildren. Oh, you got two, yeah.
What are their names?
Do you know what their
Yeah.
names are? Do you know what those grandkids'
You
names
got
are?
to give them more grandchildren.
Oh,
They get
geez.
old, you know.
Talk to my wife.
Yeah.
What are my grandchildren's names?
Hmm. One's Raymond and the other one is Elizabeth.
Right.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah. Another Elizabeth.
And who's after him?
Doris.
Doris. Aunt Doris married who?
Aunt Doris has 3 children.
What's her husband's name?
Her husband's name is Edward.
Edward what?
Edward Rooney.
Edward Rooney. And they have how many kids?
3.
3 kids. What are the kids' names?
Jacqueline, Eddie, and Christopher.
Is now Jacqueline married? Is Jackie married?
Jackie's married,
What's her name now?
Eddie's married, and now Christopher.
Who's Jackie married to?
Jackie married I don't know, I think he's a Norwegian or something. Skamba.
And his first name is what?
David?
Yes.
His name is David.
Yes.
David Scamba.
David Scamba.
Does she call him Dave? I think
Dave.
She calls him Dave.
Yes, she called him
Yeah,
Dave.
Dave Scamba.
And do they have any kids?
Yes, they have 2. 2.
Boys or girls?
He's a lawyer.
And what about Eddie? Ed Rooney, young Ed Rooney. Who did he marry?
Eddie Rooney has 2 children too.
What's his wife's name?
Masha. Masha.
And he has 2 kids?
2 children.
What are their names? The children's names.
Oh, 2 Irish names. One is Sean, no,
Connor.
Connor,
Mm-hmm.
That's the
and the other
boy.
one, I don't know what it is.
Chalet.
Shayla.
Shayla.
2 Irish names.
2 Irish names. And Chris, who's
I don't know
after?
where she get those Irish names
Gerald.
from.
Gerald.
Shayla.
And then Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay, what's his wife's name?
Who?
Uncle Gerald.
Oh, Joan.
Joan. What's her maiden name?
Her main name was Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Her name is Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. And they have how many kids?
Gerald had 3.
3 kids. What are their names?
Kevin, Jill, and Amy.
Are any of them married now?
One married,
Jill, right? Who did she marry? What's his name?
one married. Yeah, Jill's married.
What's her name now?
Oh, what's her name anyhow? I don't know her last.
She married Randy
Yeah,
Souza.
yeah, I do know.
Randy Souza, right?
It's a very familiar name.
Souza.
Sousa.
Randy.
Sousa's ragtime band. Yes.
And his name is Randy?
Randy.
Then who else?
Sousa.
That's it.
Is that
That's it.
That's
It's a
it?
baby.
That's
Oh, that's enough.
Wow.
She's tired there.
Yeah.
What'd you say in that?
He said you're tired.
Well, did I answer all your questions?
You did, you did.
What am I going
He tape recorded it, so,
Is that all going to go on there?
yeah,
You
so
got-
that way we can write it down.
You gotta remember, when you go to Raymond's,
Huh?
Raymond has the transfer thing
Yeah.
into tapes. We knew it, we would've gave you some blank tape, but
You're
there
pretty good recording all that. George don't care.
I'm sure he cares, it's just that he doesn't have
he's
the
certainly
opportunity.
very
I guess so,
interested to know all about the LeMays.
Yeah?
Somebody coming in?
Big hard. Big hard eating all the candy. My turn. He's eating all the candy.
The dish.
Yeah, put in the
What are
dish.
you looking at? Oh, you're looking at that thing?
Want
Yeah.
the candy, Dave?
Still charging. No, thank you.
He doesn't eat that.
We'll put it in the dish.
Put it in a dish.
Where's the dish?
Huh?
Where's your dish?
Up in the cupboard.
We'll put them in the dish, we'll eat them.
Somebody coming in?
Who else do you want here? There's not enough room for anybody else. What are you having a party? You expecting your boyfriend to come in?
Good.
What'd you say? You talk like that.
Your son will eat them as fast as I put them in the dish.
Want any more soda?
See what postman?
Put it over here, there's a pie in the left-hand
That's
drawer.
where they have the postman.
You can put a tie around
In
there.
the left-hand drawer.
Maybe I'll pick up the heating pad in the basket.
I said to Claire something about jellies.